This is the part of the stream that we don't know if it's working. Hey guys, hopefully it's working. Let's head over to Facebook, see if that's live. Oh, cool. It is live. Alright guys, well, welcome to the stream. Let me share this on the Zcam Facebook group so everybody knows that they can tune in. Alright. Oh, I'm sorry guys, I'm bad at Facebook. Share stream. Start a watch party? Sure. No. Just share to a page. That's what I want. This is just gonna be struggling through Facebook. Okay. Live now. Post. There we go. That's how we do it. Okay, so welcome to the stream, guys. If you haven't heard of Zcams, that's what I use. It's working. Yes. There we go. That's what I like to see, and you can actually see the chat pops up. Let's see. Okay. So, today I'm kind of just going to be talking about the two cameras I'm using. The Zcam E2 F8. It's an 8K resolution camera. I've got it in Cinema 8K 2:1 aspect ratio up there. And then my second camera is the Zcam E2 with a Lumix 14mm f 2.5 lens in autofocus. There we go. As you guys can see, there is autofocus on the Zcams. It's there. It's not great, but it works. You'll see in the stream it'll come in and out of focus a few times, but it'll mostly stay in focus on me. Like right now. It's trying to find me. There we go. And this camera, or the F8, is set to manual focus, so it's gonna just stay right there the whole time. Oh, hey James Davis, thanks for liking the stream. Okay, so let's get into it. Originally, I was going to have my Zcam E2 F8 connected with USB-C, and I was going to go through that guide, but I'm still going to go through that guide. Hi, Nana! Oh, my Nana's watching. Hi. So I'm going to go through the USB-C connection, even though that's not how I have the F8 connected. I was having some issues with 0.94 firmware right before the stream, so I actually upgraded that and had to put it on router mode, and that's how I got both of these working. Wow, that E2 autofocus is really not liking it. Okay. Oh, what's up, Evan Clark? Thanks for tuning in. Alright, so the USB-C setup. If you guys want to follow along, the link is... Oh man, this is way too disorienting. The link is up at the top of the stream, reduxfilm.co/z-cam-handbook, whatever the dashes and slashes are, you can figure it out. So anyways, the USB-C networking is actually the really, really simple, I call it the debugging mode because it will work. It works no matter what. I've never had an issue with it. Just plugging it in, doing USB-C, it picks it up. So you're going to want to go into the connection menu in camera and turn it into USB, go into network setting for that. And then you're going to go to the IP 172.18.18.1 /www.index.html, and that'll bring up the web controller, which looks a little something like this. this is through the Ethernet one. The web controller is a little glitchy right now. That's because the Zcam is using the stream in OBS, so it's kind of conflicting the streams there. Anyways, you can change all your settings in here. It's really easy, no installs. I'm not going to change any settings because that'll actually drop the camera being picked up in OBS, so I'd have to go and reset that, which is actually not that hard, but I don't want to break the stream right now. So, if you were able to follow that nonsense, that's USB-C networking for you. Anyways, the next part of the stream. Okay, autofocus, come on. I'm going to reset the lens real quick. Sometimes you get problems with autofocus. Oh, let's pretend I can actually line up red dots. There we go. And it should pick up autofocus soon. Cool. That works better. So to do router Ethernet mode, you want to plug in your camera to a network switch. Now, I use a power over Ethernet switch because I also use a TP-Link power splitter to be able to power my Zcam E2 without a battery or anything. I do have a battery in there just as a backup because it charges that battery too while you're doing stuff. So to connect with the networking Ethernet mode, in your camera settings, you're going to go to the connection menu, and then you're going to go to Ethernet, and then you're going to go to Ethernet mode and switch it into routing. Now what that does is it lets your camera pick up an IP address assignment from another device on your network. If you have a Zcam in direct Ethernet mode, it can assign IP addresses to other Zcams on your network, up to 13. There's just a limitation in the number of IPs that you can assign. So when you go into your Ethernet menu, it's going to display a setting or IP address. It's going to be on your local network most likely, so it'll be 192.168.1 and then a number, a two-digit one. One of them gets picked up as 23 every time, one of them gets picked up as 25, and sometimes 31, depending where I plug it into. So you'll just want to double check and see what your settings are in camera. And then once you have that figured out and you see your IP address, you can just go to your camera controller, like this, and go to 192.168.1, 23, or 31. I'll go to 31 real quick. And there's my other camera. So this is where I really like the web controller. You can pretty much do all your normal Zcam functions just in a web app that doesn't require any installs. Alright. Oh wow, I totally forgot to change my graphic. Let's pretend I changed that graphic on time, guys. Alright. So that was Zcam router networking, if you could follow that nonsense. So another thing that I'm using to stream right now is actually OBS. And that is a software that I started using probably 5 or 6 years ago, I want to say, when I did video game streaming. It's open source, so it's really, really free. Let's pretend I can actually find it on my site, guys. Okay, OBS. You're going to want to do the OBS plugin and also OBS Studio. You can get OBS right here on obsproject.com, download it, and then you can install it. Once you have that installed, you can go over to Summer Shrimp's GitHub account, which is the OBS SSP plugin that allows Zcams to be picked up by OBS, and then head over to his releases, go down to Assets, download the Windows zip file, And then you extract that into the same download directory as your OBS install. And then that lets you pick up, we're going to have screenception here for a second, guys. That lets you pick up these SSP sources. I'll bring it down to the bottom here. So you get to type in the IP address of the camera. You can sync it with SSP protocol or internal. I always do SSP protocol because I don't know what the other one does. You can have hardware acceleration. I'm on an old editing desktop, so it's not really great, so I don't have hardware acceleration on. Hi, Mom! Oh, my mom tuned in. You can turn latency mode to normal or low. I keep my F8 on normal because of the bandwidth. It starts hogging resources when I have it on low latency. But the E2, I've got on low latency mode because the bitrate allows it. And just for latency tests, you can see it's about the same either way with normal or low latency. And this even gives you an audio input as a source too. So that is pretty much the basic streaming setup. And if you guys have questions about it, I am happy to take any right now. And if not, you guys can head over to the Zcam Handbook on reduxfilm.co. Check out all the latest and greatest from the 0.95 update, which is the update that allows HDMI RAW, but the second half of that update where Atmos enables their side of it on their recorders comes out in June. So, if you guys want to check that out, go check that out. Tune in a little late. Do you have an itinerary for the live stream? I do. It's actually a short live stream. I pretty much went through all the info. I just went through how I connected the cameras for this live stream, OBS, and a little bit about that. Is there anything else you want to know specifically about Zcams? Because I do have a handbook, so I know a little bit about it. If I don't know the answer, I'll look it up and get back to you next stream, or hopefully add it to my handbook in a new section. Oh, and shout out to my dog downstairs for wanting to be a part of the stream and howling. That's always great. If I can bring your attention to one section of the handbook. Look up how to use false color, please. Curious about personal setups. Actually, I can show my personal setup pretty easily here because I've got two cameras. So I'm actually starting a project where I'm recording a series of interviews of people who knew a friend of mine who passed away in a drive-by shooting. And so I'm kind of having to adapt a whole bunch of my setup to COVID-approved conditions. So boom mic and all that when I normally do lav mics. Oh, you're welcome. I love working on the tech side of this stuff. So the handbook is kind of a chance for me to explore all the stuff that I can charge people for in the future. Anyways, this is gonna mess up this top cam, but I'll bring it into frame. Okay. There we go. So now we can talk a little bit about setups, eh? So the two new parts of the setup that actually just came in today are the tilt-a-mat box, which reduces flare so you don't get like a J.J. Abrams Star Trek vibe in your stuff. I like a true-to-life image, so having a pure, clean image is important to me. That's also why I like an 8K camera, because it gives you the most resolution and the most detail. Let's see. Setup monitor, I've got the DesView R7. I'm going to be probably changing that to an OCT7 because it's a 3000 nit monitor, or the Atmos Ninja 7 if I need ProRes RAW recording. My use case isn't really based around ProRes RAW, so it's probably going to be a infrequent use case, and it'll probably just be for the guide in the handbooks and stuff. Underneath that, I've got my 6-track audio recorder. It was running into issues right before the stream, so I kind of bypassed that and just went straight Rode wireless go into the camera. Let's see, lens setup. Oh, this is the Marantz Audio PMD 706. It's got, let's see, 6 tracks. Why I like it, it's got 4 XLR inputs and then 2 expansions for 1/4-inch jacks. It's got camera in and out. It's also got a line out. It also has headphones out, so you can pretty much get 3 or 4 audio outs if you need to sync through audio instead of timecode. Which, since I have a background in multi-camera and not like expensive multi-camera shoots, I'm used to syncing based off audio, not timecode. So when I do need to do a few more of these big multi-camera shoots that have timecode sync, I'll be writing some guides for that, but for now I'm just gonna do it based off of like multi-camera sync in Premiere, because that's easy. Let's see, the camera is the Zcam F8, 8K resolution. Not much more to say about it besides go check out the product page on Zcam. It's all there. Let's see, the lens is a Canon 16mm 35mm f2.8. I think it's the USM2, while the USM3 is the current model that's out right now. I like it because it gets me a bit wider than that 24-70 Canon, which I also have sitting on my shelf. And that's my main videography lens, the 24-70. Let's see, going down here, we've got the Nucleus Nano follow focus. I'm probably going to be upgrading that to the Nucleus M follow focus. Their naming scheme is so similar. So I'm going to be changing that to a Nucleus M whenever I get a Portkeys key grip, and then I'm going to be powering the Nucleus M off of that. And then at that time, I'm probably going to put the Nano onto my E2 and then probably transition this handle, which is also a new addition today. That is the Tilta side focus handle. It's got a DC output to power a camera, and it's also got a micro USB output to power and control your Nucleus M, or Nucleus Nano, sorry. It does not have compatibility with the Nucleus M. I was running into an error with it right before streaming where it can calibrate and it can power the motor, but it's not doing the focus controls. Only the hand unit's doing that for now, and I hate the hand unit, so I need to get this figured out. If anybody has advice on how to sync that, hit me up. Let's see, let's flip the camera around so we get the other side. On this side, we've got a revolver clutch handle. Oh yeah, that's my great bed. Yeah, let's flip that back around. So on that side's the revolver clutch handle, and that is actually something that's out of stock right now. There were 2 batches of it, and I think the 3rd batch is coming, but there's just like supply issues because of the whole Corona thing. So it'll come eventually. All right, let's see. I think that's the whole rig, more or less. Oh, the tripod is a Kair 67-inch carbon fiber tripod. Let's see. And if you want to read more about the setup, you can check out the Handbook Livestream page on here. And it has my main camera, all the settings I used, my second camera, all the settings on that, the software, including Restream, which is what I'm using to stream on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook all at once. And then it's got the desktop that I'm using right now, as well as the desktop that's up there and not currently working. So, if you guys have any questions, you can send me a DM on Facebook or Instagram or anything like that. If you want to have anything added to the Zcam handbook, just let me know. My next few things, actually, since my camera's right here, let's just toss it around there. My next few things are going to be inventory. Oh man, let's actually do this like I know how to do some video. Whoa. Okay. As you guys can see, I don't actually have this locked down on the tripod very well, because I was lazy when I was setting this up. Okay. So upcoming posts, we've got inventory management made easy. I'm going to be going through the tag system that I have, where if you have an Android phone and you have the app Smart Inventory, you can pretty much just send it back and forth between Google Docs and keep track of all the stuff you have on hand, the replacement value for insurance purposes, that's a really huge one, and you're able to track exactly what you take on each shoot, so if something's missing when you get back home, you can make the insurance claim or whatever you need to do. Then I'm going to be doing the Marantz PMD 706 in depth. That's the 6-track audio recorder I have on my camera. I absolutely love it. The only feature it does not have that I would say you need for cinema stuff is timecode. Doesn't have timecode. There's a Tascam one that's about $400 that has timecode. I think some of the Zooms have timecode as well, but if you do sync based off of audio, it's not that big of a deal. How to shoot time-lapse on Zcam. Heavily requested thing. I just need to get it out in the field and explore with all the settings. In that guide, I'm going to have how each setting affects what it does for the time-lapse. Then we've got low jello, wide dynamic range, and low noise modes, and when to use each. That's another highly requested one. Low jello mode essentially reduces that side to side. Wide dynamic range adds a 1.5 stops of exposure on the highlights and shadows, but it reduces the frames per second that you can record in, so that's the limitation there. And low noise mode, that's also frames per second limitations, but it improves your performance in low noise. Let's see, and then I'm going to have a sample setup for the flagship series. It's going to be like a one-person production kit. Pretty much going to be this build, but with an S6 or F6 thrown in instead of the F8. Honestly, the F8 is only useful for certain applications, whereas the F6 and the S6 are useful for a lot more users, especially if you're just getting into like one-man band cinema productions. The S6, you really can't beat it for price, performance, and features. And then I'm going to also have a bass E2 setup that's focused around like music videos and less on audio. Like I'll probably have a Deity shotgun mic in there, but not much more than that. And then post suggestions. The one I've got right now is Zcam LUT reviews. And that's pretty much what I got on the agenda. If you guys have any other post suggestions, let me know. If there's anything you want to learn how to do on a Zcam, let's hear it. Okay, I'm just gonna check on all the Restream statuses. Wow, I really need to get my face out of that shot. Okay. If nobody has any questions, then... Oh, wow. Let's mute that. All right. Well, Thanks for tuning in, guys. My name is Peter. You can check out the Redux Filmco Zcam Handbook up at the URL. It's reduxfilm.co/z-cam-handbook. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, I was going to say something about false color. Curious about that. Yeah, false color, important. Learn to shoot with it. Let's go back to that section. Okay, false color. Basically, you got this chart. This chart is what all of your shooting decisions are going to be based off of. You need to avoid blue, purple, red, and orange. If you see any of that, you're bad. Nah, you're fine. Most of it can actually be recovered. There was a user who posted on the Zcam Facebook group who had a like an orange splotch on his face, which would be 89% plus exposure, and he said he was able to recover it. The Zcams are able to do a lot. With photos on the F8, it's just incredible. But your skin tone exposure and false color is really, really what you want to pay attention to. This zone here, that green to pink, is what you want all your skin exposures to sit at if you're Caucasian. For me, since I'm really pale, I tend to scale it back a little bit because I also got a shiny forehead that just bounces light so much. So you can tell in here I have it a little underexposed. That's just to cut down on balding forehead. Anyways, when you shoot with your skin tone exposed within that green to pink range, you'll have about 7 stops of overexposure control. That's a lot more than I've had with my other cameras. I came from a Lumix GH4, so going from that to a Zcam F8, just the amount of color control is ridiculous. Let's see. More about false color. Essentially, just keep orange, red, blue, and purple out of your image, and you'll be able to work with it in post. That's the easiest advice I can give. I also have a zebra setting I think it's set at 70% right now, which falls right near that yellow. And I like that because that lets me see if I have something that's getting to that 70% range and getting into that orange on my normal display capture, or on my normal monitor. Okay, so that's what I got about false color. Any other questions? For sure. I definitely need to think out this setup more. I like having the camera on the agenda, but having it in the shot like this is not the best. I'll think this out a bit more for the next live stream. But this was sort of a test live stream just to see everything working and explaining just the process of getting this stuff set up. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you guys want to check out more about the Zcam, head over to reduxfilm.co, Z-cam-handbook. Thanks for watching, guys.